That was fun.
Yeah. I didn't lose any mana that whole fight.
It's
It's working
amazing.
well for me.
It's lagging again. I don't know why it would be doing that. I'm not doing anything else in the background as far as I can tell. No Windows updates or anything like that.
Mm.
Let me give you some of these bandages.
Okay.
I'm gonna candy down really low.
Okay. I will start bind wound with my triple bind, and then I'm gonna grab a drink while I'm doing that.
Oh,
Hope start
no,
canning
you should
faster.
be good.
Start canning faster. There you go.
He's gonna have to go down really fast.
Bind wound, or I can just
Keep doing it, yeah.
just infinite candy.
What level were those mobs?
35 plus.
Yeah. Sometime a little higher. I know they've kind of done a little bit of damage.
And one of them was yellow at 31.
I'm glad you didn't try to slow him. Yeah, might want to let the guy with the fungi take those types of aggro.
You want to bind one wolf collar?
Sure.
I think he's doing the same thing.
My bind wound's not all that great.
Neither's mine. That's what practice is for.
Watch your life on. What did you get your mana back up to doing that?
I'm at 70% right now.
Wow. From what? From 0?
Yeah, I had 0 mana.
He wants to know if you got regen. Can your regen stack with your breastplate or no?
Yeah.
It does? So you get both types. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, so one's a warn haste and one's a buff haste, so.
And if he wanted to, he could get a fungi staff, which is only 10k, and it will stack with his fungi tunic. And it's a better regen, I believe, until you get up to a higher level.
It's the same as regrowth, which is
Yeah.
like 50 plus regen, I think.
That one's a casted one as well?
Yeah, it's a casted. It's right click staff. I think you have to be 30 or something to be able to use it. Pop.
Oh.
Korath, I've had no lag issues so far. I do know at the very beginning the lag issues were partly on my side for sure. Like I said, I was uploading some videos for tomorrow on YouTube, and I forgot that I had that going on when I started it. But since then, there shouldn't be any. So, yeah, it could be a little glitches here and there. Oh, somebody died. Sexy high elf running back to her body. You think you would see more high elves in this zone, but you actually see a lot of different races from other continents here.
All right, 5 incoming. Or more.
I don't think he's joking either.
No, I don't think
I'm
so
not.
either.
I'm going to make one more. Let's get one
All
more.
right, he wants to push it to the limits.
Push it to the limits.
Some montage.
Return.
Oh, here they
that's
come.
what they're doing.
All right, I'm gonna get in there with the mix.
There
Come
comes
on,
the
brothers,
heal.
charge!
Oh, that wasn't a heal. Oh, shit.
That was a hurdy heal.
that was a resist cold.
There was no heal into that one right there.
There you go.
There we go. I'm good.
At
I'm
least
good for a while.
You're resistant to cold, though, at least.
Yeah. I mean, all
Just in case
barbarian now, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Not while we're fighting.
Well, I clicked on you to assist you, and I forgot that I had the little bandages on, so.
I would switch daggers. I got enough bandages now.
All right.
I have full bag. Back to a full bag again.
Yeah, I don't proc very much with this weapon. I think I need to work on my dex. It's 130 something, so.
Well, the thing is that you're not supposed to have high dex.
No, but I mean, I think 130 something would be good for dexterity, at least to proc more than once every 10 fights.
Dude's getting jumped. This is Channer. You must have some serious hit point buffs on.
Who's that?
The Enchanter.
It always seems like enchanters do.
I gave him Heroic Bond and Symbols
earlier.
Okay. So, yeah, he probably has an extra 1,500 close to it. If they're still on, which they should be. I mean, they last for a decent amount of time.
It's like, dude is getting beat up, but he's hardly taking any damage.
I mean, if we need, my cleric is parked right here at the entrance. I could switch over to...
Are they all rooted, like, in place?
I think so.
All right. Go defense, go. By the way, a little bit back, I leveled up to 29. Nice. I wasn't really paying attention.
Congrats, man. You didn't hear that ding, that beautiful noise
that
everybody loves?
Sure, I heard it. I heard it, but, you know.
Then he did a little dance in place and just sat back down, didn't tell anybody about it. That's one thing I liked. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't have anything to say.
No, I was gonna say that's one thing I like that they did on
say something, dude.
On Everquest 2, and they're doing it on that other game, Orbis VR. When you level, it does an audible sound for everybody to hear. It also does like a flash of light that everybody can see, so that way you don't have to be like, "Oh, grats," you know, or you know, say that you're leveled. Everybody will just know it, which is kind of cool. You don't have to brag about it.
Don't gotta be braggadocious.
I never looked at it as bragging, but I guess some people could take it that way. Like you're rubbing it in their faces and you just level to a higher tier. You're now one more step to being Uber.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get going soon. It's getting late.
All right, man.
Okay.
Well, that will definitely eat into what we can accomplish over here without a fungi shaman, but I think the pond area is easy enough, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Unless you go off the pit.
Which Cypher's bound to do at some point.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Somebody get backstabbed? Somebody got hurt. Uh-oh, what's going on here?
I'm taking the wrong mob. It was on the Enchanter, so... Now, Cypher, are you doing things the old-fashioned way, where you run from point to point when you're playing Fallout 4, or are you fast traveling?
I fast traveled a few times, but if I'm going to a quest, I do not fast travel. I walk most of the time.
Because the one thing I learned in that game, the way I was doing it, is I wasn't going to fast travel at all when I was on camera.
Yeah.
And one thing I have noticed is as you run over places you've already been before, new things pop up. I don't know if they're time-based or action-based or what, but...
Yeah, like at the merchants, that bar where Simone and whatever his name is, once you killed them, you can come back around and it's two completely different people, or sometimes it's just one raider or 3 or 5 or 10 that are trying to take over that place.
Oh, the little diner?
I wish there was like a definitive, here's a quest to go kill these mobs, so these mobs won't be coming back to her location.
I think there is, because she said she was being harassed by nearby gangs. So I think if you can find the gang at their hideout, you can stop that from happening anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a really good spot to go back and get a little bit of experience and a little bit of loot, because you kill those guys and then you can just sell the stuff right to her.
Oh,
and get a few little things. So it's kind of like, maybe I don't really want to do that. But, you know, eventually they're going to kill her and she'll be gone for good. So
Yep.
Have you had
Unless
your
you save the day.
right? Have you had your base attacked by super mutants?
Again, I haven't done anything with the base, so really is nothing to attack.
It happens, I think, regardless. After you get so far away from it, like it starts to get under attack naturally, and I think it just starts like destroying build. I never had anything happen because I was just so infatuated with building that I actually put down like gun turrets and like all these security features long before it ever happened to me.
Yeah.
But you have a certain amount of time to make it back, and if you don't make it back in that amount of time, I think it destroys like buildings and kills people and kind of sets you back. And
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not that far into the game, I guess. I did make it to Diamond City, though I haven't got to that point in the videos. I have gotten to Diamond City finally. I said in a video, we're going to Diamond City today. 50 side quests later, we're finally in Diamond City.
right. So I was telling Cypher my first time through that game. I never actually finished it, but first time through that game, I did so many side quests and got so infatuated with the building that when I finally came back to it after being gone for like 3 or 4 months, I looked at where my quests were and like try to figure out what I was doing. I hadn't even made it to the first town. Like the very first quest is to go to the very first town. I never even made it there. I was just doing side missions the whole time.
Yeah.
And I already had like a mech suit and everything, dude. Like it was amazing.
I've been looking through a lot of things. Like you have that first quest that you can do where you go and meet the Minutemen. Did you even do that the first time?
Yeah, I did that.
Because there's a bobblehead there that like is a very important one for the build that I'm playing on coming up, which is the melee build. And you want I'm doing not so many points into perception because of the fact of that bobblehead.
Right. Well, I mean, there's so many different options you can go down on that one. Did they ever increase the max level cap? Which I think was probably going to be 20. I never got to it, but I figured it would probably be 20.
I have no clue what the max is. I think they are kind of on par with what Skyrim went to, which was 81. But I may be incorrect about that.
81?
I may be wrong.
I can't imagine that, because you'd be able to max out all your stuff long before that.
I would think so, too. But, I mean, that's what Skyrim's max was.
Yeah, Skyrim did get a little bit ridiculous towards the end. I mean, I think any video game, the level cap should be around, like, 50. I mean, anything past 50, it just sounds crazy. Like, if you tell somebody you're level 100, you're just like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, how long did that take? And that's crazy.
They did change that in the game so that you can now, like, go up into the hundreds of levels, because of the fact that they have a new thing called legendary. So once you've maxed out a skill, say you are doing resolution and it's not something that you're going to be using very often, you can actually choose legendary version of it, which gives you all those points back, plus you can go ahead and level through it. But you can only do that once you've gotten to 100 in that skill.
Yeah, I mean, there's a gargoyle over here that's free and loose. The only thing I have a problem with them going past, like, level 50 is that you keep going up in stats, and that's fine. The stats can be proportionate. The mobs can even be proportionate at those levels and be quite challenging. But at some point, you become so high level that the mobs from previous zones don't pose any risk.
They can't scale up.
Right.
They can't scale up to that point. Now, with the later expansions, and this is without any mods, there are certain mobs that will level with you, but there are also a lot of mobs that will only level to a certain point. It's the way the game was designed.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, if you go only to level 50, this game is a classic example of that. Even if you go into a zone like Najina, the mobs are only 30 levels lower than you, sometimes even less than that, and they will still attack at level 50 in there. And if you get enough of those mobs, they're going to wreck your face. So even low-level zones aren't just like a pushover, oh, I can walk through them, go camp the mob that I want to camp. you're still somewhat challenged and somewhat restricted because you got to be a little careful. And I like games that make you be a little careful and never really quite give you that unbelievable uber sense. You know, oh, I'm level 400, I can walk through like half the game or not more, and
Yeah.
you know, like the world is my oyster at that point, because it does
Well,
kind of make you feel like you know, the old days where you used to cheat. You know, you put in like the cheat codes and you become unstoppable. You lose a little bit of that enjoyment, or at least I did. Maybe you guys aren't the
well,
same.
even when you get to around level 10 or 15 in Fallout 4, I'm rooted in the valley.
At the Jolly Green.
Yep.
In the shadow
Um,
of death.
they get to a point where the game becomes easier, but it also becomes harder depending on the mobs. Like super mutants are always hard. Death claws are even harder always. And then you get to like the what are they called? Mur something
Yeah, those guys weren't too hard.
attackers. Not the normal ones, not the soft shell ones, but the actual attacker version that doesn't have the shell. It's like a faster version of that mob.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the legendaries, which always drop legendary loot. Trying to find a cloaked anything from a legendary mob.
Yeah, I mean, there's
But
always
yeah.
ways they can up the difficulty, but by going with that high inflation, I think they kind of lessen some of the earlier zones and make them less challenging. And if you can keep them challenging, there's reasons for people to go back there and farm loot. There's reasons for people to go back there and do quest. And even at higher levels, you can make it where, like Kedge Keep is a prime example of that one. There's people who will avoid that zone like the plague, not just because it's kind of difficult to get around, but because the mobs in there, they swarm on you.
Yeah.
And they will kill you. Even at level 60, they're going to kill you in that zone.
Side note to that, we killed Finney tonight, and he did not drop a staff. He dropped 2 shaman batons and coral for the monk shoulder piece, but no actual epic portions.
So very unlucky for somebody who was there counting on that piece to...
Yeah, me. I was,
Oh, is it?
I was there for me. Yeah, I was there for my wizard epic.
Yeah, well, maybe there was a rogue there, had some sticky fingers.
No, rogue cannot sticky finger Finney.
I'm just teasing, man. But you know, if a rogue could, they would.
Oh, I know that they would.
It's like that scene in Replacements where they put that super glue on that guy's hand so he'll catch it. I don't know if you guys ever got to see that one. Neo from the Matrix?
I don't think I've watched it.
Replacements?
I've seen commercials for it, but I've never actually watched it.
Not one of his best movies, but I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie, especially if you're into football or comedies. There's a lot of, you know, comedy in that movie.
Yeah.
Primarily, that's exactly what it is.
Alright, guys. I think I'm going to take off.
All
All
right,
right, man.
Well, thanks for coming out and joining us tonight, man. Hopefully you can get some rest.
Yeah, for sure. Get some sleep and we'll make some money tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? What are you doing tomorrow?
Some yard work.
Well, hopefully it's not going to be as cold as it is here. It's been freezing the last couple days.
I think tomorrow's supposed to be 82.
Oh, that's going to be perfect for yard work.
What shows 82 here in Florida?
What do you got?
Or at least my part. I don't know, but it feels like it's 40.
It's a little bit like over here. Especially in the morning. Did you guys watch that super blue blood moon from the Pink Crusaders or something?
No,
No? You guys didn't see that?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a super blue blood moon. It was a super moon means it's a full moon, right? The blue moon means it's the second full moon of the month, and the blood moon means that it was a eclipse. So it was going to be the biggest moon you can have as a full moon. Obviously, the second one, right, is the blue. And then it was also going to be red. If you were on the east or west side of the country, if you're in the middle like I am, it was just a big moon. They hit your eye like a big pizza pie.
It's a more.
But
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
all right, night, man.
All right, have a good night.
But yeah, they were making a big deal about it on the news. If you're into space, I am very much into anything space related. Unfortunately, I think NASA has a absolute horrible PR department because it was very anticlimactic for the buildup that they gave it, and they always do that. They always find something that is really fascinating to scientists and absolutely 100% boring to everybody else on the planet. And it just kind of sucks because there's other things out there that they don't really build up, like meteor strikes, or when they get a whole bunch of them coming in, they don't really let people know that, and that's what people like to see. They like to see the fireworks in the sky, and scientists are just like, oh yeah, that's not very interesting. Now, if you can get me a sample of one of those, then I'll be interested, right? So they need to kind of stop doing what they've always done, which is to only show off what they like. It's like that scene in Joe Dirt. I only like poppers and sparklers, and he's like, it's not about what you like, it's about what the customer wants. So I wish them all the best. I hope that they can get their stuff together and make it interesting. I like watching the NASA channel when they're docking one of their ships, but it is by far one of the slowest, probably most boring things anybody else has ever seen in their life, because it takes them like 12 hours to dock. There's no sound. There's nobody really talking unless something is happening, and they go super slow, like really slow.
And a lot of times, if they are talking, they're talking in the gibberish language that they've come up with.
Right. Which I guess other people wouldn't understand, and I don't always fully understand it, but I think I've watched a few of them enough times to kind of get the gist of what they're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I used to watch that a lot also. The thing that gets me, though, is that, like you said, I don't understand why it takes 6 hours to dock something that is...
Safety.
I mean,
safety.
I
like, why
understand
rush
safety.
it?
But you know how fast that they would dock between whenever they took off in the Saturn rockets and then once they got up in space, the time it took for them to extract the limb, it didn't take them barely any time at all.
Because they didn't have a lot of oxygen, they were kind of rushed, and yeah, I mean, they could definitely do it, I think, in like 10 seconds if they needed to. If it was an emergency and the planet was going to explode and they're like, just do it, those guys are trained enough, I think they could. But like, they're probably just like, why risk it? If we go at like less than a centimeter an hour, then there is absolutely no risk of anything happening. And if something does happen, people die. So
yeah,
or can at least. I've got a pop over here. I'm gonna grab it.
I was gonna say, let me know if you see a pop. Get it? Because I'm not seeing nothing.
Yeah, we killed too fast, man. You moved too soon. Oh no, he's talking his gibberish again.
Who is?
Arnold from Twins. Remember, he's like, you moved too soon. Those two brothers that were beating up Danny DeVito.
Oh yeah.
And the other guy's like, oh no, he's talking. That's the last time they like broke both of his arms and his legs and tossed him through an entire wall without even like breaking a sweat.
Yep.
It's back in the day when Arnold was pumped, dude. He was the man of was it iron or steel? Mahogany? What did they used to call him from his country?
I don't remember. I mean, he was an Olympian bodybuilder or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, he used to make it look so easy. I was just having a conversation with my brother the other day, and I'm like, where are all the good action stars, man? I grew up with, you had Chuck Norris, right? Back in the day for, like, the original. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger. Then you had, Sylvester Stallone. You had Jean-Claude Van Damme. Right, like you had these big staples. You even had the B-movie action star, which was, what's his name? The guy with the slick back haircut who always wears a raincoat nowadays. He's a cop now as well.
Sean.
No.
Man, he was in. Wasn't he in his? What is that movie? The 13th Warrior.
Oh, Antonio Banderas? No. Like, I guess he does action movies every once in a while.
Was that Antonio Banderas?
Yeah,
okay, it was. Okay. I know who you're... Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, there you go. That's the name.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there.
Currently 5.
There is no mobs.
What's up, Big Time Man? What's currently 5? But yeah, I mean, you used to have all these action stars, right? Dolph Lundgren, you know, all these guys back in the '80s. They do these action movies, and now, if you're lucky, you have like what? Vin Diesel, Statham.
Eh.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, if you call that action,
right. I mean, not a lot. Not a lot. Vin Diesel does comedies as well, so he's not like 100% just pure action. Although I do like him in the Riddick movies, or at least the first one and then the last one that he did. Those are really good.
Oh yeah, actually, he's done a lot of animated too. Like they did.
Oh, Groot. He did Groot. But I mean,
He
I don't
did
really
Groot?
count that as a role because it's just
No,
kind of
no,
like
no. I
he
mean,
came in and said
they
one
did,
line, "I am Groot."
They did animated Riddick, which
Yeah.
happens between
That was a good one.
the first one and the other one, and
Yeah,
the second one.
that is a perfect series to do animated because it's so much cheaper and you can show like the aliens and stuff.
Yeah, I thought the third one wasn't bad. I just thought that they ended the second one weird. I mean, you know that he's not going to stay a Necronomicon or whatever it is they're called.
Necromonger.
He's not going to stay one of those. It's just not his being.
Yeah, second and third one wasn't too big fans of those. They were a little. I think they didn't know where to kind of take the series after the first one.
Yeah.
And then they went back to their roots, I think, a little bit more on the fourth one, where he's trapped on the planet. And I was like, "That's perfect, dude. That's where Riddick really shines when he's the outlaw." And I understand that sucks for a character to always be the outlaw. You want him to kind of succeed and have friends, but like the movies
I mean,
are
when
so
he
much
had the
better.
dog, when he had the dog pet, or is that the third one?
That's
I
the dog
can't
pet. Yeah,
remember.
yeah. That's fourth one. Fourth one's the dog pet.
Yeah,
Second
that
one
was actually really good.
Yeah. The second one, he like starts delving into the different planets where the Mungers, and the third one, he goes after, I think,
the
his friend
Mungers.
in the crematorium.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Her name is well, it was one name, and then she named it herself different. And then I mean, why would you end that movie the way that you end it? Why would you even let her become a Necronomicon or whatever they're called? I can't remember what
Necromonger.
her actual name is.
Necromonger.
Necromonger. Yeah, why would you let her become one of those? Make her
'Cause-
become a slave, and then he has to save her.
No, because
Don't-
they didn't want like a happy ending with him, man. Like that's where he shines, is having a tragic story. Like I said, it sucks, but there's so much better, dude.
I mean-
so much better when he has a tragic story.
There's that, and then he gets the dog, and then the dog ends up dying, I think, also
He's
from the bandits that he ends up helping later or something like
Yeah,
that. I can't remember what
He's like Link, dude, from Zelda. Like no matter how many times you get the princess, she just gets kidnapped again by Ganon.
Yeah.
So, currently 5 degrees. Tomorrow is a low of -1. I heard the Super Bowl is supposed to be one of the coldest, if not the coldest, it's ever been for Super Bowl. However, great thing if you're going, which you probably already know, is there's an indoor stadium that they're going to be hosting
Yeah.
it in. So, no like freezing cold players out there on the field. I always liked it when they were because you never knew what was going to happen. Like fumbles,
Oh, yeah.
it is going to be on when it's like below freezing. Like they're not going to be able to hold on to jack. But it's going to be warm, so it's going to be like every other game. Which, you know, you can't blame them because I wouldn't want to go out there in that super cold weather. Big Ten supermoon is perigee when the moon is full and is as closest to the Earth. There might be a little delay on the video. No way. See, they talk about the Leonid meteor showers all the time. Yeah, they talk about that one. They talk about the big ones. But there's meteor showers that happen all the time that are very small. They only last for like 5 or 10 minutes. And, you know, they don't really talk about those. And I think if they kind of put out a little app, you know, it's 21st century, they can kind of jump in there and do the social media as everybody else does it. Come out with a little app that will allow people to see when like these small little events are going to happen and remind them, because people are very forgetful. I think sometimes they get busy with their life.
Yeah.
So have it like ring on their phone and be like, oh, meteor shower starting in 5 minutes. Make sure you have a view of it. And maybe even like stream the meteor shower on the app, so if they can't watch it, they can still, you know, see it.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Or something, but their media department really sucks, dude. they don't really. Oh, we got a pop.
Yeah. I mean, they could do so much with
Oh
it.
yeah, and anytime they get new pictures in from Hubble, like they put them on their webpage, but again, like sending them out as an app or coming out with screensavers, free screensavers for the public. They can put them on their computers or donating them to the schools to, I don't know. Like I said, there's so many things they could do that they're not doing. And I understand it takes money and it takes time, but I think the return investment on that by getting people interested in space again could one day lead people to go back to the moon and confirm that it is not made out of cheese.
30 Chinner, 37 Clerk. The Clerk is too high.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't get very much experience here. Just depending on when you're following for this sort of the news. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Yeah, but he's doing a lot of comedies, and he never really did super action movies. Like, that was never the one thing. Like, Arnold, he never did anything else until later on in his career. He kind of went down The Rock's path, I think, as well. Sylvester Stallone, the same thing. Started out doing nothing but action, then started branching out a little bit here and there. Dolph Lundgren never did anything else other than action, and neither did Jean-Claude Van Damme. He did a little bit of comedy mixed into his action, but mainly it was just all action. And Steven Seagal, same thing.
I mean, Steven Seagal is one of those actors that was always a
B movies, dude. B movies. I loved them. Don't get me wrong. I love the Dark Territory movies and all that stuff, but so B movie. It's great.
But he took himself too serious.
Oh yeah,
and nobody takes him serious as a person.
That was part of his charm.
In every movie that he does, he is himself.
Yeah.
There is no character that he is playing. He is playing himself.
He had one role, and he just played it over and over and over again. But he played it really well.
Yeah, he played that role greatly. I mean, that was like the bomb.
Yeah, but he did take himself a little too seriously at times. He fell into the role, like some actors have been known to, when they delve too deep into a certain aspect of it. But he got into movies where it was all about the Native Americans, and he started walking around with like Native American clothing on when he wasn't in the movie. Samurai warrior kind of stuff. He got really deep into that, and I can't blame the guy for having an interest and finding hobbies and finding things that he's enjoying and stuff like that. But I think when he's kind of like with me. When you delve into something, he just delves like 100% into it.
Yeah.
And that could be good because you could really get to know a lot about a certain subject, but it's also kind of like, whoa, back it up a little bit. Maybe go like 20% into that, maybe 10%.
Right. It got to the point where he was pretty much acting as if the heritage of the individuals that he was playing as was his actual heritage.
Because he felt that strongly,
I'm
dude.
Japanese.
He delved so deep into it, he didn't see a difference anymore.
Yep.
Let's see. He's in the Guinness Book of World Record. Dwayne Johnson? Yeah, for what? I'm kind of curious on that one. For something like most perfect body or something? Really?
No, he's a wrestler. I mean, he's probably in there for wrestling.
Well, Big Town was saying he's for the most perfect body. I'd have to say, how do you qualify for that? Because there's so many different people could say that's not the perfect body.
I mean, how is that defined? Not only by
I don't think the Guinness Book should get into looks category.
Yeah, that is. I mean, aren't they though? I mean, that's their whole thing. Is that longest fingernails, longest beard?
Yeah, that's not looks though. That's something you can quantify. It's something you can measure.
Yeah, it's.
But when you get into like who's the prettiest, well, I guess that's like eye of the beholder stuff. Like, how do you do that?
I mean, what's taboo? Is 6-pack taboo or is the 8-pack taboo? I mean,
yeah. You guys know. You guys know how I do it.
I mean, is Chuck Norris in the book of records because his chin is so strong that he could punch you into the next county or whatever?
He should be. He should be in the Guinness Book of World Record just for being Chuck Norris. Like nothing next to it, no asterisk, no like category. Just Chuck Norris name on a page by itself.
He should be there for the most memed person before memes were.
Or even a thing, like he created the category.
Yeah, he created the category of memes. I mean, look at everything that he's so powerful that he can do.
Yeah. It's hilarious, dude. I love it. I saw him on a commercial a long time ago. It must have been maybe a year and a half by now, where he was walking into a diner and the guys were talking about him. And I forgot what they said, but they threw a
It's
salt
the
shaker.
two old guys.
Yeah.
And then they threw it at his forehead or threw it at him, and he was able to kick it onto their forehead or something like that. I bet he can. If you throw this at him, he'll hit you or something. I forget what it was.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, he won't. He's too old now. And then like they both walk out there with black eyes.
Yeah. There used to be those daily calendars, Chuck Norris's, whatever.
Oh, was there? I never really got too deep into it, but playing an MMO, you're bound to hear the Chuck Norris lines, the jokes that they have, and he said, "I am Groot in every language that the movie is available in." That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. He was on, was it Fallon or Kimmel, where he goes through every single one.
So he memorized them?
Yeah, he memorized them.
Wow. Because, I mean, even if somebody told me how to say those lines, I probably would still have a very hard time doing it in certain languages, because it's just, that pronunciation in, like, Chinese or Mandarin or whatever, it's going to be pretty tough.
A lot of the thing is either it's the I am portion is what is in the other language.
Right. But that could still be hard enough.
Groot, yeah, I mean, Groot is not something that would have been in it, I guess.
Yeah, because it is his proper name, so.
Yeah. But I think there is one, he was talking about the fact that if you, whenever he was translating it into Japanese, he had to make his voice louder or deeper. Because they have a really deep sound to their everything.
Did he have to have a little twinkle in his eye and the big boots? Like he with the full-blown anime when he was doing that?
I guess so. All right, she's going to pull.
The Witch Hunter movie was inspired by Vin Diesel, D&D's character. The movie wasn't all that great. It could have been, I think, if they had gone maybe a little bit more into the realistic realm of that, but it wasn't bad. Like Heath Ledger, yeah. I have to say, man, when that movie was being proposed and people were talking about it, I was on the other side of the fence, man. I did not believe that anybody could ever do Joker justice after Nicholson. He did. He did a fantastic job with that character. Sucks that it ended the way it did for him. Like, for him to have to delve that... Maybe he didn't have to, but he did. Because he didn't want to let the fans down, I think.
I mean, do you really compare to Nicholson? I mean...
it wasn't the same.
His was more of a...
realistic, darker side.
Was he? I thought he was more of the cartoonish TV show type version of
really?
Of the Joker. Yeah, because of how crazy stupid that smile was on him.
That was the part that was kind of creepy, just like when you watch the movie It, and you see like the clown's creepy smile. That over-the-topness kind of adds to the flavor of a horror movie, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just me. I didn't feel that he was the best, though I didn't think there was very many good options either.
I mean, I'm not saying he's the best. I thought he did an equal job to what Nicholson did back in the day in a different way. It was enjoyable to watch. It was highly entertaining the way he did it. Like I thought, the scene where he's like, I can make this pencil disappear, and the way he like moved his hands.
Oh no!
And
I'm talking about Nicholson. I didn't think Nicholson was actually a good Joker just because of the fact of how weird it was.
Oh, but he played it weird for a reason. The movie itself was that type of movie. Like in the
I
era
guess-
that it came out with. Did you
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
like the ones that came after? They always got
Oh,
goofier
yeah.
and they always got over the
all
top.
of them got goofy.
And like they had like neon cities and everybody was wearing like
Yeah.
paint and it was all like black lit.
You could tell what era it came from.
Yeah, but at the time when it came out, I was like, "Oh man, this is good." You know, at the same type of like age that I was watching it at as well. So, I don't know. I thought he was absolutely amazing at the time, and I think Heath Ledger did a fantastic job too. So I'm glad he did the movie.
Heath
I'm sorry
Ledger
he did it that
did
way,
a more realistic version of Joker. I think the newest Joker, the one that was in whatever they're called,
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I thought that one was not great. I thought that it wasn't good.
I didn't really like the Joker either, but he never really had a chance to shine.
Yeah.
You never really got to see him act like a Joker. He was just kind of trying to rescue the other girl, which was definitely not Joker-ish. Like, he never really came to her rescue.
Yeah.
He might blow up the entire city to get her back, but it was mainly just to blow up the whole city. Getting her back was like, I don't really care if it happens. But Batman always brought her, you know? Your chat's way lagged, like 10 minutes behind AC. Yeah, that was from earlier when I was uploading. The only way I could fix that would be to stop the stream and then restart it. And I don't think you guys really want me to do that because it can cause problems for some people. So, but I will if you guys want me to. So in 10 minutes when you guys get this message, let me know. Let's go ahead and do it. Corey says, I bought a Total Gym just because it was endorsed by Chuck Norris. How did the gym work out for you, man? Was it a good one? Was it something that you were happy that you got? Because I got a Bowflex a long time ago. And it was the Bowflex that I probably should have known it was really going to be a bad purchase, but it was the one that had the little bars, the little rubber, tubes that went up, and you put on the chain, and you could add more and more to it, which would add more and more resistance, right? So it wasn't actual weights; it was the resistance of the rubber tubes being pulled down in a way that they're not really meant to be pulled. That gave you the resistance. But the more and more you used it, the more those tubes would become used to being pulled down like that, and the less resistance you got out of it. So after about a year of using it, there was no resistance left in it. And it was just kind of, yeah. So I stopped buying like the fads that they have out there for weights. You buy the actual hard weights, and they never really go bad. You can't really break a weight. You probably break your floor first. May not be as fancy, but they do have some fancy ones out there. They had one for free weights for the barbells, and they actually have it where the barbell itself is just the barbell, and then when you put the weights down, they have these like little things that clamp onto the end of it, so you can change it with like a couple of tweaks from like a 5-pound to a 10-pound, and you don't have to worry about them like rolling around a little bit as much as like the free weights tend to do if you just throw those on there, but. There's so many different kinds out there, dude. Like you can go with like actual just heavy weights and be done with it.
Yeah, I like free weight. I like free weights better. I don't like the mechanical, I guess is what you call it.
Mm-hmm. They last longer as long as you maintain them, I guess, a little bit. You don't really have to maintain them that much. Just don't treat them like garbage.
Yeah.
And I like the exercise bike, not so much the treadmills. Treadmills never seem like they last too long unless you buy like that industrial strength that they have in the gyms.
Yeah, I'm not a treadmill person myself. I like the what are they? It's not a stepper. It's not a treadmill. It's
kind of the elliptical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's better on your knees. If you have knee problems and everything like that, you don't have that impact every time you step, which is fantastic.
Which I definitely do.
You and me both, man. Playing football was not kind to my body. Messed up my back and my knees. Probably gave me several concussions. That seems like something that's very commonplace in football nowadays. I'm curious to see how many people make it out of the Super Bowl alive this year.
Oops, I fell.
Into the water.
Hey, buddy, you want to swim? Let's swim. All right.
Oh, he's gonna blast you.
He's just tickling me.
after the shaman now.
Yep. Little tickles.
88 points of damage for a backstab. I like it. But if you guys in chat, and I do apologize for the lag, I know you guys won't get this right away, but I'm looking over there, so definitely leave the comments. But do you guys have a favorite action star of today? Do you guys like the Statham guy, or you more of a Vin Diesel? Is there somebody I'm missing? Because, you know, if there's an action star out there that I'm not aware of, I would definitely love to watch some of their stuff. I see, what's his name? He's making a comeback, back from the 80s. Guy from Universal Soldier.
You're not saying the right words. I don't know what that is.
Universal Soldier? You never saw those?
If I did, I don't remember.
Oh, man. Those are pretty good. He dies in Vietnam in the first one, and they bring his body back, kind of like reanimate it. And he's supposed to be just like this mindless drone like all the other ones. But for some reason, he gets his memories back. He starts developing that and starts going off. And there's, of course, a reporter that's trying to break the story back in the old days when reporters actually, you know, did that kind of investigative work. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. They made a whole series out of it, actually. I think 4 or 5 of them, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw a single one of them.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's the guy I'm looking at.
No. Nope. Didn't see him.
This thing lasted a long time, but it was more geared to body weight and body weight multiplying, so more for beginner, intermediate. Oh, okay. It could be good to get your feet wet with weights like that and kind of jump into something, because I know not everybody played football or sports when they were in high school. Not everybody went to a gym, and it can kind of be intimidating, I guess, jumping into that and not knowing like how to use a machine. And
When I get a drink real quick, I'll be right back.
I guess that's the thing. I don't know. I never really give anybody a hard time at a gym. Like, if they're looking at a machine or something like that, I always ask them if they want to use it or something, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody not know how to use it. They try to make them as simple as possible. The only machine I've ever seen at a gym that I was kind of unsure how to use was one that strengthened your forearms. And the way they had designed it, you actually put your arms through like this twist of metal and then like twist it a bar further down. And it was made to like stretch your muscles in a certain way and then strengthen them while you were doing it. And it was the weirdest looking machine I had ever seen at a gym before. And it took me a little while before I worked up the courage to kind of walk over to it and be like, I don't know what this is, but we're going to figure it out. Man, I was so excited to get my new robe today, and it looks like trash. Wait, you don't like it, dude? What's wrong? Going to have to live in elemental form. What robe is it, by the way? What, are you wearing the green silken drape? It doesn't look that bad. Scale the robe of the Elder Serpent. 3 intelligence, 9 charisma. Oh, so he's wearing it for the charisma for sure. Well, if you're looking for Fashion Quest, there is a robe that comes out of Seb that I would suggest you get. It's kind of nice. It's like a bluish black, very regal kind of little robe. It has pretty decent intel on it. You're not really going to get too much of the charisma off of the item, unfortunately. For that, I would have to ask Nibris what robe you should be going for. Nine charisma brings out the color in the eyes. But it weighs a lot more, really. 3.5 stones? That's not too terribly bad. Yeah, it's better, or a lot more than the 0.4, but... Astral Leggings of the Titans, I got these today as well. Oh, nice, dude. Those are from Stonebrunt Mountains, I believe. Off of killing, is it the panda and the gorilla? You turn in both the rare pieces off of those guys, and you get those leggings right there. There's, I think, 2 more items you can get in that zone as well. by doing different mobs. Liam Neeson. I don't consider him an action star. He's a fantastic actor. Don't get me wrong. I love him in his movies. And he can do the action. But most of the movies that I remember seeing him in haven't been 100% action. Like he does a lot of dramatic roles, roles that require him to jump into a character and become that character. Again, you know, like I want that one, or maybe like 4 or 5. If they can, they're more than welcome to put 4 or 5 in there. But you know, action stars that just kind of specialize in action. Throw the comedy in there too. I mean, if you watch Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can't help but laugh. There's definitely comedy or cheese mixed into it for sure. But I kind of miss like the Terminators, dudes. Like, you know, the movie Terminator was fantastic. Terminator 2 was even better. Then they went to Terminator 3 and ruined the whole thing, and kind of went a different route later down the series with that. But the first 2 were amazing, and I don't know how far along it is, but I hear, what's his name? The guy who made the first 2 is actually making another one. He's going to go back as if the 3, 4, and if they made a 5, 5 didn't actually happen, and he's going to start up where the story left off with the first 2. I think that could be amazing. That could just be really cool, because he had a really good storyline going there, and after the second one happened, there's still so many more directions they can go in. What level is this guy? Let's go ahead and toss him an invite. Big Ton, I don't watch enough real-life movies. Most of my video content is anime. I watch a lot of TV. I can listen to it in the background while I'm at work, or, you know, when I just want to chill at night when I can't sleep, which happens all the time, like tonight. So, yeah, I watch real movies. I watch anime. I love anime. I've been watching a lot of... oh man, what's the name of the website? Funimation. Somebody told me about another one where you can watch anime online as well. And if you guys ever find any good spots like that, definitely let me know.
I'm back.
T2 better. T1 even. Hey, Super Bits, how you doing, man? Terminator 2, I would have to say you're right. Oh, welcome back, by the way, man. Terminator 2
Yep.
was better than Terminator 1, just because I think Terminator 1 is a little dated now. Just a tad,
Really?
just a tad bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little dated, dude. The scene where he cuts out his eye is really super cheesy, because the graphics, you know, they just didn't have it.
Sure.
So
Not why we don't like it, though.
no, but I'm just saying it can be kind of hard to watch going back and watching it now. Whereas Terminator 2, I can watch it to this day, and the graphics are amazing. Like they still stand up to what I see in movies. In fact, they still blow away what I see in some really bad movies.
I mean, you figure they're, what, like nanobots or something is what they are?
What do you mean?
I mean, the only way you can make metal turn into metal, liquid metal, and then back to metal again is if they are nanobots, because how is that?
As we understand it, but that's the whole thing, is they did it in such a beautiful way and still gave it restrictions that whether they kind of make sense or not, still made sense in the universe.
Like it can be frozen.
Yeah, it can be frozen, which is
That's the
cool.
thing.
And they show it in the movie, you know, like they're susceptible to that kind of stuff before they, like, just introduce it all of a sudden as, like, oh, by the way, Ex Machina, you know, kind of thing. Which it still was, because they just happened to crash into the one factory that had everything they were looking for, but...
Yeah.
Universal Soldier was, I think, a good movie for the first one. They did get, like, pretty much all of them got a little ridiculous. Or very, very ridiculous as time went on. No super action stars, not like the old days. Yeah, we need some, guys. We need some.
Yeah,
So-
tell those actors.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's people on the stream right now, they're getting buff. Right? Go in there, do your action star, man. Hollywood is desperate for a decent action star because I'm
Yeah,
desperate
they
to
are.
watch one. No, T1 is amazing. Not a huge fan of T2. Oh, so he disagrees. He thinks T1 is the best one. He's right there with you, Cyber.
Maybe. I mean,
I like the whole thing they did with the shrink in those movies, which I think maybe
Yeah.
that's why I like the second one a little bit better. Because in the first one, you think he's actually trying to help her out, and later on, you find out he's just like the giant douche that he is, that like doesn't believe anything that anybody tells him. Which I can't really blame him. He works at a mental institution, but at the same time, like he sees things and he should believe them, but he doesn't.
so number 2, if I remember correctly, is the one where it's Terminator the T1 versus the T2, right?
Yeah, Arnold comes back on the kid side this time, John Connor, who's a punk who steals stuff and rides motorbikes around. His parents get killed. Milk scene where she's drinking milk and it goes right through her face, and he's
And then there's the whole scene where they take the hand and the chip and they destroy it, but somehow they decide that, hey, all that's gone, it doesn't matter. We're still gonna continue making more movies.
right, and that's why the third one was really horrible. They went with this is not why it's bad because they went with a female lead, but they went with the female lead and her character really sucked. It was like a downgrade from what they had before. Liquid Metal could do so many things, and then they created this one, which was like Liquid Metal on top of a exoskeleton like Terminator. So she's supposed to be able to turn herself into complex machinery, but she never really takes advantage of that. All she ever does is create like a flamethrower, and like that's pretty much it. I think she saws through the roof at one point too, and I'm like, that's kind of lame.
Look at X-Men in Future Past or whatever it's called. The Sentinels are even better than that Terminator.
Yeah, it's so downgraded from where the second one was at. That's why I didn't really like it too much. And then they kept with the same storyline. Like they really didn't add anything new to the franchise. It was just kind of a rehash. So I was kind of disappointed with it.
Yeah,
They could have done so
I
much,
agree.
and then they went to the future where they were fighting the war, and I thought that one was going to be darker. I thought it was going to be like they showed in the first one, where people were hiding underneath debris, like rats, scurrying from underneath this like superior technology that is just annihilating everything. But no, they had like bases, they had airports, and I was like, you wouldn't have any of that. Like, no, you are like the most gorilla outfit you've ever seen in your life. They need to be like covered in goo because they're living in like just the worst possible conditions. And they showed it in the first one, and it just seemed right on, but went a different path. I have a big list of sites which have anime cartoon movies on them. Some of them need to be accessed through a sandbox browser, though, because of the pop-up ads. Hi, by the way, been lurking around, was digging the Orbis streams. Hey, man, we're definitely going to be doing more Orbis. That is a fantastic game. We've been doing a little bit of some of the other ones, because I do stream quite a few other games. Astroneers, things of that sort, so yeah. Orbis, though, man, I kind of miss it because it's very addictive. Kiss Anime? Kiss Anime? All right. I like Kim Cartoon a lot as well. Oh, I'll check those two out. I have not seen those. But Zeph, if you got a list of them, man, you don't mind sharing, you're more than welcome to send me a private link or something like that, and I'll check some of these out. Because, yeah, I've been watching Funimation, but I've running out of stuff on there. Kind of seen their entire library. And Crunchyroll, that's the one. I need to write that down, actually, so give me a second. Crunchyroll. There you go. I got that one. I was trying to think of the one you guys were telling me last time. All right, Finn, thanks for coming out, dude. It was a pleasure to hang out with you. Hopefully, you didn't have to stay up too late to do it, because I know it's kind of late for everybody. I think it's just darker. T2 is more comical, I guess. Yeah, they did have the funny scenes in there where he puts on the glasses and the kid teaches him hasta la vista, baby, and, a little bit more humor mixed in with the darkness. Because the first one was a lot darker. It was just like, this thing is going to kill you. That's all it does. It doesn't sleep. Doesn't eat. Anybody with the name Sarah Connor? It's going down. And I think the best scene in Terminator 1 is where it crashes the police station.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is just... for as a kid watching that one, like, the police station, that's where you go in a horror movie. Like, that's your end game, right? You get away from the bad guy who's a psychopath. You get the police to come out. Like, that's your rescue, right? But then all of a sudden, this guy... He's just busting through the police station, and like it shatters your world, and you're just like, what do you do, right? Like, where do you go at that point? The military? Like, who you turn into? Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention, and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.